Is the AI agent trade over? That is the question that we'll be addressing today in this video, so without further ado, let's jump straight into it. Welcome back to another video. In recent weeks, we've seen a little bit of a retracement in the AI agent market. In fact, I've talked about this a few times, which you can see on screen. I've covered this on Twitter. Now, I posted this about a week ago. In fact, some of the alts, or some of the agents I should say, have actually bounced back a little bit. Some of them even hit all-time highs, but others fell even further. And we're finally seeing a disparity within the agent space itself. It is not going up only like it previously was, and we're kind of stabilizing a little bit too. In fact, I've seen a real disparity in the market. Now, some coins are doing fantastic. The likes of Fartcoin, which is apparently an AI agent, but also AIXBT, which recently hit all-time highs, performed really, really well. But on the other hand, we have the likes of AI16Z, the likes of Virtuals, and also many of the other different kinds of frameworks that we have available kind of lag a little bit and have a pullback from all-time highs. Now, there's a number of things that I've personally noticed. Firstly, we're having a ridiculous number of token launches every single day, in fact. This includes agents, platforms, modules themselves, individual agents, tooling, every single day. And at some point, that causes a little bit of attention fragmentation as everyone kind of is focusing on their own different agent, and also a little bit of capital fragmentation. But we'll talk about that a little bit in a moment. What we did notice was perhaps about 3 weeks ago as well, we did see a lot of vaporware actually perform really well and end up going to $50 to $100 million. Now, of course, this again isn't sustainable, especially as more and more people get involved into the ecosystem and realize, you know what, this agent isn't as good as I think it probably states itself to be. Now, mindshare as well also went really high, went to over 70%, and that means like all of the attention pretty much in the crypto industry was pretty much on agents. Is that going to continue to be the case, or can that be sustainable? Probably not, and that's also probably one of the reasons why we've seen a little bit of a pullback in the market. I think in addition to that, we've still really yet to see, in my opinion, a significant amount of tangible, usable products. A lot of it is all a lot of talk, a lot of the idea is that these agents can do something in future, but unfortunately in their current form, I wouldn't say that is the case. I've also noticed, a lot of the Web2 AI devs kind of taking a look at what's going on in the Web3 space and really saying that it's a bit of a laughing stock. Now, when we look at some of these agents, I do get a lot of similarities to the likes of, back when we saw DeFi. And, here's a coin, I believe this is Aave, and you can see kind of the market cap of Aave kind of changing over time, going up and down, at times even having like 60% corrections, going from 750 million down to below 200 million. But when DeFi summer really kicked off, this went absolutely crazy and ended up going to 5 billion plus. And I think this is pretty interesting because this is normal. The corrections are normal. I think expecting 50 to 80%, across the board, very normal. And I'll showcase this chart from Mazzari, which kind of highlights AI over DeFi over time. And this chart has been going pretty viral. Is this going to happen? I don't know. I'm not too sure. But I think there is really something interesting with the agent space. And I think it's worth diving into. I think the opportunity that is available right now with open source AI, there are some interesting tools, there are some interesting protocols, and they actually have tangible projects, or products I should say. So I think there is some interest and some focus on them for sure. Now, if you look at I took this from CoinGecko, and this was just a few days ago. And if you actually look at the AI kind of market cap as a whole, it's around 45 billion in total. But this is including everything to do with AI. So you've got layer one chains in here like Near and ICP. You've also got the likes of BitTensor, Render, and Fetch. The AI coins from maybe a couple of years ago that really performed well, or even last year. This is really overstating the agent space specifically as a whole. And so in reality, the market cap of agents is much lower. But if you notice, even if you look at the total AI market cap, it's still a magnitude smaller than the likes of DeFi and even meme coins, which I think is very interesting. In fact, if we actually look at like AI agent market cap today, it's around $17 billion. And I think that's what's interesting is that DeFi is around 10x this, so 10 times the size. You can actually see this for yourself if you go to a website like called cookies.fun, which can give you some insights into kind of how big this space is right now. I think one thing to note is that when it comes to AI agents, right, we're often trading ideas or like the idea of one of these agents. I'd say at times, like the fundamentals, in fact, at most times, right, the fundamentals do not match up to the market cap or the valuations that we're seeing today. So we're not really trading like fundamentals. We're trading mind share, we're trading attention, and we're trading ideas. Now, I think this is just an important thing to remember because, it helps you kind of stick to assets when you see the price go down, because you need to remember that it's the idea and the attention and the mind share. And as long as that still remains, as we've seen in the case with an example like AIXBT, then there could still potentially be some upside. And so, yeah, I think that, that is just like a really, really interesting thing to say. Now, as you can see here, look, total market cap of agents is 18 billion. This includes virtuals, AI16Z, AIXBT, all of the other, thousands of agents that we have available right now. And if you add them all up, we're talking about 17 billion. That is the same valuation as Avalanche as a whole. So what I'm saying is, right now, Avalanche, AVAX, the AVAX token as a whole, the FDV, is the same as the total market cap. The market cap, I should say, of Avalanche is the same as the total market cap of all the AI agents that we have at the moment, tracked on cookies.com, or cookies.fun, I should say. So that's pretty interesting. I think to me, this really goes to show that AI agents could still have another leg of pure euphoria where they go significantly higher than just 16 billion. But of course, let's see. So the question is, right, what am I going to do? Right, we've seen a lot of corrections across the board. What's the plan? Is it over? Is it not over? Well, I think I've tried to make it clear that I think 16 billion for the entire agent space is pretty low in my opinion. And I think we can still see magnitudes more than this. What am I going to do now? So I've kind of put this slide into 3 different things that I'm going to focus on. Firstly, I think when it comes to agents, you shouldn't really focus on like kind of what's there today, because I think the space matures and grows so quickly that what's there today is completely irrelevant in a week's time. That's how quick things go, especially when you're building on top of these large language models. What I think is more interesting is when it comes to agents, right? It's all about focusing on the right teams and making bets on them. And that includes both established players and new players. And one of the ways that I think that you guys can do this is to really get in the trenches and try and get in touch with the teams building these agents. You can ask them for a call, even join their Telegram or Discord groups and see if you can add them or even send them a message on Twitter. Find a way to get in touch with these teams and see if what they're building, or see if they have the know-how to build something that can be very, very interesting. I think this is like a really good way to get your edge in the market, and that's something that I am actively trying to do as well. I think also, moving on to point 2, I think I'm certainly going to continue to focus on ecosystems that have new innovations or upgrades. And so especially the more established ones, the likes of what's being built on the ELIZA framework. And then you can kind of spot trends and see like, interesting things that are built, whether it's specific agents that can do DeFi activity or stuff like that. I think there are like specific sub niches that I will be focusing on too. I think DeFi AI or AIFI, as I like to call it, is certainly one of them. And so if you pick that niche, you can really try and find all of the different projects that are building within this niche and compare them with one another. See if there's anything actually valuable there. Would you use this product yourself? Try them out. And I think that's one of the ways that you can really find some edge. And with that as well, it's also about kind of taking a bit of time to do some research, go through the Solana AI hackathon winners, see if there's anything interesting there. You really got to spend a lot of time skimming through a lot of projects. And this is one of the problems with the agent space, right? Is that we're seeing projects launch every single day, but you do need to spend a bit of time. And if you do spend a bit of time and go through as many of them as you possibly can, you will hopefully find something valuable there. And then it's about focusing on new ecosystems as well. So as many of you know, I'm very, very interested to see kind of how the dynamics of the new layer 1 chains is going to be. We have the likes of Berachain, which of course you guys know I'm a big, big fan of. But also we have the Hyperliquid EVM, we have Initio, we have Monad, we have Mega ETH, we have Movement. We have so many chains coming out. And a lot of these chains have raised significant amounts of money or have raised significant amounts of money. and therefore I think pose a very interesting opportunity for the first few agents that launch on some of these chains. Now, we've seen some of them launch on Hyperliquid now already, especially their tokens. I'm very keen on seeing what agents get launched on other stuff as well. And then you have like DAOs and accelerators like the likes of AICC, which I think will be interesting as well. The first agent that comes out of there definitely will be getting some attention. Make sure you're following the right people in the space too. Yeah, I think those are kind of the things that I think are worth going for at the moment. And that's kind of my thoughts of where we are right now. So let me know what your thoughts are. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. I think the agent space is bound to have corrections over time, and this is just one of them. I'll certainly still be following it very, very closely. In fact, probably just as closely as I've always been, and we'll be looking to find opportunities when it comes to investment as well. So nothing is financial advice. Let me know what your thoughts are. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. We'll be back with plenty more in due time.